Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I'm Chris Randazzo and joining me tonight is Fist Fight with a Helicopter, Dan Ryan.
Cliffhanger.
Best game ever. The end of November once again draws near, meaning it's time for us to tackle the 10, 20, 30, 40, where we discuss notable game releases from decades past. Just how dated a reference was Blue Suede Goo in 1993? Chum up the Chuck Norris because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now.
It was pretty fucking dated, man. It's pretty dated.
You know what kids in the 90s really thought was funny? Elvis impersonations. Hi, everyone. This is episode 490. It's the week of November 24th, 2023. And Dan, how the hell are you?
Oh, man, I'm tired this week, Chris. I don't know why. I'm just fucking exhausted. I don't even have a good reason. I slept fine. I think I'm just in my 40s. I think that's what it is now. I think that's just like I've really, it's really weird, right? Because I know people would say, you know, when you hit 40, shit goes downhill, and I didn't really feel that way. But when you hit 43, shit goes downhill.
Yeah, it slides downhill pretty quickly. I haven't been sleeping.
Tired all the time, man.
I haven't slept through the night in weeks, and then Karen was like, you know, it's my understanding that this shit just happens. Like, your body just stops doing the whole melatonin thing the way it used to. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You don't need this anymore.
You're
Good luck. You're fine. I'm not fine.
No.
But I'm getting used to the less sleep and sleeping in stranger times and whatnot. I'm doing my best. I'm acclimating.
See, and that's the thing. I don't mind sleeping more or sleeping. I think sleep is fucking stupid. I fucking hate it. It's like a dumb thing that I have to do every day because my body won't let me function otherwise. But I could be doing something.
You have to.
I have to do.
Can you imagine how much we could get done if we didn't have to sleep?
Oh, God, it'd be awesome. It'd be so great. So I don't mind the sleeping more or less thing. What I do mind is the being tired thing. That doesn't seem to be getting any better. It doesn't matter how much I do or do not sleep, the level, or how much coffee or caffeine I have during the day, the level of tired seems to be increasing exponentially. And I know for me, I don't know if you're like this, but it definitely increases with the weather changes. And we've had some pretty fucking wackadoo weather here this last week, of where the beginning of the week it was in the 30s and 40s, and today it was 70.
Yeah,
and
I was in shorts today.
It was fucking wild. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be back down to in the 50s or something like that. Something
it's going to be
reasonable for November.
Yeah, it's going to be some fall weather tomorrow, which is fun because I'm having a yard sale tomorrow. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, nice. That's very exciting. I'm not.
It is very
I'm not
exciting.
coming.
Actually, it's going to be 61.
I'm going to let you know. I'm not going to be there.
I can't imagine there's anything that I'm selling at my yard sale that you'd want.
I don't know. You got some records I might need?
Fuck no, I'm not selling any records. Maybe someday I will be selling some records, and when I do, you'll be the first to know.
Oh, fabulous. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we have, there's that gargantuan collection, and I am going to finish cataloging it, by God.
That's
because
right.
Once I finish cataloging it, then they can decide which ones they want and don't want, and then we can sell off the rest of them.
When you were there looking through the catalog of records, as an aside, did you see a copy of Trout Mask Replica from Captain Beefheart? I know we talked about it on the Discord. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Have you ever listened to that record?
No, I am almost completely unfamiliar with Captain Beefheart.
Okay. It is, oh boy, it is impossible. It's an impossible thing to listen to. And it's wild because it's so fucking expensive. Like, it's such an expensive record. And I will never own a copy because of how expensive it is. And I don't... It's one of those things where I...
Trout something?
Trout Mask Replica.
How much is it?
I don't know. It's pretty expensive. For an unlistenable record. I mean, it's not unlistenable. I like it, but it's impossible. It's just the weirdest fucking shit. But I feel like it's one of those albums that is expensive because people decided it was going to be versus the fact that it's worth it. The cheapest I'm seeing now on Discogs is $67 after shipping.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were talking in like the hundreds. That's still a lot of dollars.
No, it's not. It's a lot of dollars for just a ridiculous jazz, weird, nonsensical, whatever the fuck that is. Yeah, it's super weird. I recommend it, though.
That does look familiar. Let me double check on that, see if that was
if you want to challenge yourself. I recommend it as a as an interesting way to spend a couple hours.
I'm challenged enough as it is.
That's fair. I did pick up. I happened to be walking through the local Walmart, and they every year they do like a $15 record sale, and they never really say when. It's not on Black Friday. It's not a particular day. It just some records show up in the store, and then they go on sale online for like $15. So I happened to be walking through the store, and they had the little display out, and I grabbed the Benedict Cumberbatch How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh yeah, I saw
grabbed
you posted
the soundtrack to that.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's like fucking Tyler the Creator and Run DMC and like just all these really dope Christmas songs that you don't get on other records. And Pearl Jam 10 for $15, dude. I couldn't leave it there. I had to have it
for $15. That's pretty solid.
It's such a good, and I felt my relationship with Pearl Jam is kind of weird, right? Because I think the first album is just the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, the Badger's ascot, if you will. I think it's a great record. And
10?
I liked, yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think they had one album before that. Yeah, 10 is phenomenal.
10 is brilliant. I have liked each subsequent Pearl Jam album magnitudes less than the one that came before it. So like Versus came out after 10, and I was like, oh man, this really isn't, I don't really like this. And then Vitology came out, and I was like, ooh, I like this even less. And then I couldn't tell you what came out after that because I bought it. Yield, maybe? Was that the one after Vitology?
No Code, then Yield.
No, okay. No Code, then Yield. Yeah. Ugh. That's what I say to those two. I just could not get into them anymore.
I genuinely enjoy all those albums, but I'm of a similar mindset. I've liked each one of them less. Not orders of magnitude less like you, but I've liked each one of their subsequent records less than the ones before it. I don't know. I go back and forth on Versus. I might like Versus more than 10, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth, but it's been a long time since I've listened to much Pearl Jam. And like the other albums, they're like, I like them, not enough to buy them on vinyl because like there are many songs that I don't particularly care about, but there's a handful of songs on each one of those records that I'm like, I really like this song. So it's an interesting thing. They're a band that I have just the utmost respect for because I've never listened to a record of theirs and been like, no, this is just flat out bad. You guys just aren't trying. You know,
these guys are fucking phoning it in.
I've never felt that way about them.
What was super awesome about it was, so I bought the record and then came home and made dinner for the kids. Tiff has been working like fucking crazy. By the time this comes out, she will have worked 13 days in a row with no days off, just because this person had a thing and she's the one who could cover. So when that many people have a thing that many times in a row, she worked 13 days, which is, the money will be nice and all that's great. What that means, though, is that I've been making dinner more often, which I am not good at all. And so, like, I've just been running to the store. Yeah, no, they certainly have a much higher cholesterol number than they did at the beginning of this fucking journey. There wasn't a green vegetable in sight. I'll tell you what. That's not true. It might be true. I don't know.
The corn was green. It shouldn't have been, but it was a vegetable and it was green.
So I came home and we're eating dinner and I put the record on and they started singing along with Even Flow. And I was like, just what the fuck is happening? This is very strange. Apparently, there was a TikTok of a skateboarding Jesus, and that is why they know Even Flow.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I was like, all right, this is happening.
There are worse reasons to know that.
Yeah. But I sat there, had dinner, while my children serenaded me with Even Flow. It's like, fuck, this is weird. This is a very strange thing that I am experiencing. But anyway.
No, that's freaking weird. But you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Weirder things have happened.
It's all good. So, yeah, tired. Just tired, Chris. Tired. Didn't play a lot of games this week. I did finish Kaze and the Wild Masks.
Right.
I finished that. It's really fucking good. It's really, really good. Honestly, truly. I was so consistently surprised with how much I was enjoying it. Because I was like, yeah, this looks pretty cool and whatever. I'm sure this will be fine. I like Donkey Kong Country a lot. This is an homage to that game. Like, how bad could it be? I had the gift card, so fuck it. But just consistently surprised at how much of a quality game this would. The boss fights were insane. Absolutely insane. And the final boss fight, like each boss fight, there's 6 worlds, so the previous 5 were all like 3-stage boss fights, and it changed slightly and whatever. But the final boss fight was a 4-stage fight because it incorporated after you would, hit the boss 3 times, it would then go into a different section where you would have to use one of the masks. There were 4 different masks that you got throughout the game. And there was a little sub-level in between each section of the boss fight. I was like, man, this is really fucking hard, but this is really good. Like, it's a tough-ass game. And I don't remember, is Donkey Kong Country very hard?
The retro ones were, like the ones made by Retro. They? I mean, Tropical Freeze in particular is, yeah. Tropical Freeze
I know Tropical Freeze is, but was the first Donkey Kong, because I can just play through that game because I've played it so many times. Oh, the first one on
Super Nintendo? I mean, it gets a little challenging towards the end, but no, it was never brutal hard.
Okay.
No, I don't think so anyway. It's got a degree of challenge for sure, but it's not oh, this is insane. And I think Country 2 maybe was a little bit harder. There were some trickier bits in that. And 3 I didn't really like very much, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, fair. All right. Oh, it's a really good game. If you see it, $15 or less, I feel like it is absolutely worth that money, and you will get it and be like, "Yep, this is dope."
Yeah, I've seen it around. Mike Sheridan's been telling me to get it for a while now. I'm sure I will come around on it at at some point, and I'm bound to get my hands on it
at some point.
But
I think that's it. I think that's really all I've done this week.
Huh.
So just come home and I'm like, I'm done.
I'm so tired.
I'm so tired.
Well,
what about you?
I beat Mario Wonder, 100%.
I saw you were getting pretty upset.
I hated that last level, and the more I reflect on it, the more I realize that it must have been me. I don't understand how, because I did the rest of the game, no problem. Like any other part that was tricky, no problem. But once I got to this final secret level, I couldn't get any consistency out of the specific moves that I needed to do. Like, there are two of the badge challenges that involved badges that I just don't think are fun. And it's the spring shoes, which are it's the same thing as the spring power up from Mario Galaxy, which I hated there too. But that was kind of the point. Like, you got that thing and you're like, good luck, and it was goofy as hell. And I just didn't really particularly care for it. And the other one is when you are invisible. And I just don't think that's a fun mechanic. I thought it was clever for a split second, but it's the last thing you have to do after a gauntlet of incredibly difficult things. And it's like, well, this is just annoying. But the rest of it, there's like this vine whip thing you used to grapple onto walls, and can't say I ever really had much of a problem with it the few times I used it throughout the course of the game. But on this last one, for some reason, I would, about 50% of the time, I would shoot it out in front of me, and it would just curve up and grab onto some spikes instead of the wall that was directly in front of me, and it would insta kill me. And I don't understand what was causing it. And then there's this other ability where you run super fast, and then you run off the side of into the air like a Looney Tunes character, and then you can jump a few feet away from the edge of a platform, which goes against everything I know from every Mario game ever. It reminded me so much of Title Defense in Punch-Out, where Punch-Out, the other boxers would draw back and then wait a second and then punch, right? So because I've been trained for my entire life, as soon as you see them move, you dodge. But if you do that, you dodge, and they punch as soon as you get back from the dodge. That's what this reminded me of, because I can't tell you how many times I died because I just jumped at the edge of the platform and didn't make it on the next one. Like, son of a bitch, I did it again.
I gotta run off. Yeah,
that's my
so weird.
nature to not do that. And that was kind of clever. But the problem that I kept running into was that your ability to jump, like the timing of when you can and can't jump after you run off the edge, was wildly inconsistent. And I don't understand it, because it felt like I was doing it within the same timing over and over again, except sometimes it just wouldn't work. And again, I have to chalk this up to, it must have been something that I was doing wrong. Maybe there was some controller interference. I have no idea what was causing this problem, because I spent over 100 lives getting through this last level.
Wow.
And everywhere I look, people have run into the issues with it before, but nothing like I've experienced. So clearly the problem was on me. And but either way, it's done. That level is over, and it really it soured me so much on that game. I was so like, none of this was fun. There was no joy to be had. The music in that last stage wasn't very enjoyable. Like, there was just, I got nothing out of it except for just finally being able to put it down.
Frustration.
But then the next day, I started a new save file, because it's like, boy, I'm not ready to be done with Mario Wonder. I want to play this again. And so I just started a new save file and played like the first world and a half again, because it's just that fun. The game's just that good. So maybe someday I'll get to that. I'm sure I'm going to play through the whole game again. I'm not now, because other things happened.
Oh, sure.
But I really do love that game. It was fantastic. But yeah, everything besides that was a joy. I've been playing a little bit more Horizon Chase 2. The game does still actually occasionally crash, which is bothersome, but only in parts that don't cause me to lose any progress. It seems to be a specific thing when I level up a car and choose to equip like new rims or something. It'll be like, no. And then I boot it back up, and it's fine. It's like, what a
maybe
weird
it's just
place
a
to
comment
crash.
on your choices. Those rims
I
don't go with that car.
I don't even want them. The game's just like, hey, you got these. You want to put them on? Like, I don't care. They're free. I can't even see the rims when I'm playing the game. Sure, go nuts, crash. Well, then what did you ask me for? Sure.
You prick. What's wrong with you?
I've been playing a little. Did I mention Colored Effects? I think I mentioned Colored Effects last week. I've been still, playing around with a little bit of that game, which is really fun. I got stuck on a level for like 2.5 days. Well, it's that kind of a game where it's like it is just a puzzle, and it's a single screen. There's no scrolling or anything, so it's just like this is what you have, figure it out. And I could not for the life of me figure it out. And then was it just yesterday morning, it struck me like lightning. It clicked. I was like, wait a second. Because, like, you have one of the abilities you can get is to shoot a little fireball that goes all the way across the screen. And I had to get, excuse me, I had to get a box to fall onto a switch while I was super far away from it. And I couldn't for the life of me piece this together. And then I realized that if I stood on this one spot, I could actually shoot a shot all the way across the screen that would make a block disappear, which was holding a switch down, which would turn on a fan, which would blow another block onto the switch that I needed to have pressed when I was on the other side of a door. And it took forever to dawn on me that this was even a possibility. And then when it was done, I was like, oh, damn, that was clever. So this game's smarter than I am. I'm probably never going to beat it. It's a lot like that game Combinera I was playing last year or the year before or something. The one with the Atari published one. It's a similar situation. You know, you've ever played a game like that where you just look at it and say, I don't know. I don't think I'm smart enough for this. I just don't think I am.
I don't know. I think it's got me.
I think this game has my number. I'm not going to win, but I am having fun with it. I want to load up my Switch app because I can't shake the feeling I'm forgetting something else. I did actually have like a weird like half an hour that I spent down here playing Sparkster for Super Nintendo. Just kind of came out of nowhere.
Just because?
You know what? It's just because I was sitting there downstairs, the kids were upstairs being annoying, and I said, you know what? I'm going to play something on my Super Nintendo, and that something is going to be Sparkster, and it was wonderful. Because that game's great.
It is great.
Yeah, no, there actually really isn't anything else here that I've been spending time with. So yeah, the big news is today, this morning, I got up and me and John and Ellie went to Target and bought Mario RPG. And
shouldn't they have been in school?
Oh no, they're off today.
Oh, why?
Parent-teacher conferences.
That sounds. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got parent-teacher conferences today, and then they were already off. What was it? They had a 4-day weekend last week. Now they have a 3-day weekend this week, plus half days all week long, and then Thanksgiving. And yeah, they're not going to be in school very much for a while, which is super awesome for me.
Which you love. I know how much you love it.
I mean, I do. I love having my kids around, but also I have like shit to do. So, but all I want to do is play more Mario RPG because it's freaking great. It's Mario RPG. Like, it is quite literally that game. It is that exact. I summed it up earlier today. Like, it's like playing Mario RPG, except with glasses on. Like, you had been playing it without glasses on before, and then you put glasses on and you can finally see what the game looks like. For example, there is the first sword boss that you fight in the castle that's got the Chancellor behind them or whatever.
Yeah.
I never, ever in my life realized that there was a person riding that thing. I thought it was the handle.
I feel like that's racist. I don't know why.
I'm trying to look at the picture of the sprite in the original game. So I see the concept art, and I can see like, oh, okay, yeah, that's definitely a guy riding it. But like when you look at the sprite, or at least when I always looked at the sprite in the game, I just thought it was like the handle. I never realized it was a dude riding the giant sword like a pogo stick, just like all the Shy Guys were. Never realized it. No, I got to that boss today, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Okay, I get it. It's wild. No, it's
I felt that way when I went to see when I first moved down to Florida. So like 2006, somewhere around there. One of the local theaters down by Disney was showing around Halloween. They were showing Nightmare Before Christmas, but it was in 3D. And I was like, well, fuck yeah, that sounds like an awesome idea. I'll go see that in 3D. And it was at that moment, watching that movie in 3D, where I was like, oh, fuck, his nose is a pumpkin. Son of a bitch. Like, Zero's nose is totally a pumpkin. And, like, up until that point, it had just never been really clear. All the merchandise had it with his nose as a pumpkin, but this is pre-HD and whatever. So seeing it in crystal clear 3D was, oh my God, this is wow. Same kind of thing. Like, I've been watching this movie with my glasses off, and I don't even wear glasses.
And then all of a sudden you see it, and you see it the way it was. They see it the way it was drawn, and it's just it's a whole new world
this whole time.
Absolutely wild.
Well, that is excellent.
Yeah, it is. The game is exactly as good as it was on Super Nintendo. Like, it really doesn't play any different.
Right.
Timing's different, which is interesting.
I was just going to ask if the timing was the same. I feel like that's a pretty huge part of it.
It's faster. Like, everything happens faster. Okay. So, like, you've got to get the special timing down faster, which took me a decent amount of time. But I don't know if this was really in the original game, and if it was, it wasn't super communicated. But you know how they showed off in the trailer that they were doing, like, if you nailed the timed hit right, then you could attack. Yeah. You'll do damage to everyone.
Yeah.
That's only if you get the timed hit exactly right. There are different degrees of nailing the timing on the timed hits. Okay. And they tell you when you do it, like, you'll do a timed hit and you'll get 2 hits off, but it'll be weak, or there'll be a medium one. And if you nail it 100% perfect, that's what actually hits everybody. And the same thing goes for your defense. You can do like a defense that'll be like, you'll take less damage, but if you nail it perfectly, you can take 0 damage, but only if you nail it perfectly.
Right.
Which is pretty interesting. Oh, the attacks look so cool. Like, things that were very limited by the technology at the time, just like Flame Wall. That was just like, and now flame is all over the screen, and now it's not. Now it looks like an attack. The lightning balls look like an attack. Like, it's just so neat to see this game come alive. But the gameplay is just 100% Mario RPG. You move around the same way. It just looks better. It's very similar to Link's Awakening remake, where it's just like, no, this is Link's Awakening. We just made it prettier, and that's what this is with Mario RPG. We just made it so you can
fucking see it. Yeah,
and I'm over the moon with it. The music has been wonderful. The new cutscenes that they've added have been great, because like, they'll still do a lot of the things where the characters will act out what like the cutscenes all happened in the game, with the sprites just acting out what needed to be done. And that still happens sometimes, but then other times they'll do exactly what the cutscene was, except they'll do it as like a CG, cinematic sequence. So like when you first meet Mallow and he's chasing after Croco, like, he does all the same things, including trying to jump after him, and he can't jump on the wall, and he splats into the wall and slides down. Like, even the timing of it, I think, is the same, except it's all shot dynamically instead of just shot like him running around. But like, all the silly little things, like when Mario's trying to explain what happened at the castle, and he turns into Bowser and Peach and like falls down and launches, all that stupid stuff is still there. Like, when he opens the door to Bowser's Keep at the beginning of the game, he still backs up and runs inside exactly like it did in the Super Nintendo game. Like, it is ridiculously faithful, but also ridiculously beautiful, and I'm just head over heels in love with it. I'm so happy.
That's awesome. Well, it's so nice to go back, and because like we said when we were talking about Sea of Stars, right? Like, we do not play role-playing games, certainly to the level that we used to.
No,
because we just don't have time to do it like that. But it's really nice to go back and get that kind of nostalgic, warm and fuzzy feeling of like, oh yeah, this is why I fucking loved these, like, back in the day.
And honestly,
because that was Square at their tippy top.
Yeah, this was Square and Nintendo teamed up. Like, this was just insane. And honest to God, this is what I wanted a Final Fantasy VII remake to be. I just want that game, but with my glasses on. That's what I wanted. And that's what I want out of most remakes, which is what I've gotten. I got that with Metroid Prime. I got that with Link's Awakening, and now I got it with Mario RPG. Like, that's what I want remakes to be for the most part. Unless there's like something legitimately needs upgrading about like a game's gameplay, like that's a different story. But
Sure.
when you're going to remake,
well, and you talk about like Metroid Prime with updating the control scheme and that sort of thing, like that's totally fine.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
still the core game. Just
it's the same game. They just let you control it the way you've always wanted to. I mean, if you wanted to, you could still control it the old way that had the motion controls and the single stick controls as options. But like when you look at something like Samus Returns, that I think is a great remake, because if you just remade Metroid 2 shot for shot, that's not as good of a game. You know, Metroid 2 it's a great game, but it's not.
But it needed some work.
Exactly.
Subsequently,
it needed some work. Yeah.
In the latter years, there were developments and styles and things where we went, oh, this actually works better in this type of game than the way we did it previously. So let's make it better.
Exactly. So it really depends on the game that you're remaking. But boy, when you're taking something that is like, if you were ever to remake Chrono Trigger, this is how I would want it done. Like,
yep, just make it prettier.
Take that exact game and make it prettier. Don't
futz with it.
Exactly. Don't futz with it, you know? And I get this Final Fantasy VII thing. It's a whole plan that they want to do, and I'm sure they're having a ball with it, but it just... I have such a hard time with Final Fantasy VII, especially now, because it is the visuals off of a CRT. Very similar to original Mario RPG. You know, you take Mario RPG off of a CRT, and it's still a good-looking game, but it's really pixelated and crunchy in ways that kind of defy its intended art. And Final Fantasy VII has that problem of being like, well, here's these silky smooth characters made out of like 6 polygons, and then these super pixelated backdrops that would looked great on your CRT back in the day, but looking pretty chunky these days.
Well, that's why you got to drop $750 on this retro tink, whatever that thing is.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm sure we're getting there.
We'll get there. And as a matter of fact, let's get there now. If we're all done talking about other shit, it's time for week old news.
Yeah. Week old news.
Week old news is here.
Did we get a theme song?
I would assume so. Yeah, I didn't listen either. I probably should have. I trust Evan.
Damn it. I don't.
But anyway, yeah, it's here. It's here. It's time for week old news. All the news that was new a week ago today. I guess we can just jump right into the RetroTink 4K. Its price and release date have been announced. It's coming out in early December for $750. Mike Chi announced
that seems
originally.
Like a lot of dollars.
Well, here's the thing. Mike Chi announced that, you know, this is the thing he's working on. It's going to be expensive. He said it's going to be less than $1,000. So if it comes in less than $1,000, be happy about that. And he was not wrong. $750 is decently less than $1,000. He has also been extremely upfront about the fact that this is probably a product that most people don't need. There's also the RetroTink, I want to say 5X, which is more than good enough for just about everybody, which is a fraction of this price. This 4K one is for the enthusiast crowd.
So explain to the listeners, and by listeners I mean me, what does this thing do for my $750?
I couldn't tell you exactly what this does that makes it $750 worth. A RetroTink is a brand of upscaler. They take your old games and they make them look good on modern televisions. The 4K one is, I would venture to guess, 4K compatible. And I have read a lot of things about it, and I've understood approximately 5% of what I've read. Just like talking about different scanline features and all these really like high-end things. Apparently the components to make this thing are also super expensive, which is why the unit is super expensive, and the amount of work that's gone into it. But it is the reason I'm totally fine with this being this price is because he has been upfront from the get-go that this is probably not for you. This is for the people that are fine with spending $750. Like, this is for the video file enthusiast, which is definitely not me. Yeah, the psychopath. And don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I'm a psychopath for many different reasons. This ain't one
No,
of
sure.
them.
Yeah, I don't say that as a pejorative.
Yeah, that's it's just a different kind of crazy than me, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody has their crazy. But yeah, there it is. We have also been in talks with Mike G lately about getting restocks of RetroTink stuff on our store at Stone Age Gamer. We've been out of a lot of it for a very long time. He's been an incredibly busy guy. We're hoping to get the 4K and I think the 5X. I hope I'm saying that right, because I'm just not going to look it up, because I don't want to.
I believe that's correct. Which I find a little strange. Like, as I was reading through some stuff about it, I was like, but the 5, that's a bigger number. Like, I know 4K and 5X. Like,
they're referring to totally different things, you know?
Totally different things, but it seems like one is the next one. But, this is not for me. From what I understand, Chris, so the way this upscaler works, right, is I plug my top loader into the RetroTink, and then I plug the RetroTink into my 4K set, right? Whatever I have hanging on my wall.
Indeed.
Okay. And it's going to make it so that it is playable and looks as good as it possibly can. There's, I think you said, like, a bunch of features to make it then emulate the look of a CRT on a modern high-definition television without sacrificing the precision, like the pixel precision that is sacrificed when you put one of these things through an HD TV. Is that correct?
That certainly sounds correct.
Okay, because I'm asking because I have always emulated through a computer. And I have never found, never's the wrong word. I have one time found emulation to be inefficient for what I was trying to accomplish, and that was Punch-Out. Punch-Out I just can't do through an emulator. I have to do that through television. That's the only way I've been able to get through it. But like everything else, I've been like, yeah, this is fine. This is good enough for me. But this is a product, and what Stone Age Gamer sells, because Stone Age Gamer has other upscalers, right? Not just the RetroTink?
Tink is...
Or am I wrong?
No, I think we might have something else, but the RetroTink is like the upscaler that we sell. We have the most RetroTinks. We have a bunch, or at least we carry a bunch of different flavors of them. I'm drawing a blank on if there are other upscalers that we carry. Okay. I'm actually drawing a blank on other upscalers right now.
This is for the person who wants to play using the original cartridge on original hardware just on a television.
Correct.
And not have it be a gigantic fucking CRT behemoth.
Right. We have HDMI adapters and things like that, but they don't.
But they don't upscale.
Yeah, not specifically. If that makes any sense, like.
Right, they do just by the nature of it being a high-definition signal that's now being transmitted, but it's not a specific piece of programming that is doing work on the back end to make it look better.
I think that is correct. I could be very wrong. I am very much not an expert on this. And in fact, somebody I wanted to have on the show is an expert on this stuff, and I'm hoping to get him on soon, because I would very much like him to explain all this stuff to us. Talk to us like we're idiots.
I will do an impression of that person next week.
Please do.
I will come on and do a voice. It'll be a very stereotypically like German scientist voice. And it'll be really grating and not funny. It'll be funny and then not funny and then really, really funny.
Just gonna wrap all the way around. Just keep it going.
Yeah, much in the way a lot of the G.I. Joe Fensler films things were. Of like, this is funny. All right, no, it's not. Never mind, it's fucking brilliant. God damn it.
Never mind, it's hysterical. Back to the news. Let's see. Microsoft just made a one-of-a-kind Bluey-themed Xbox Series X. But when I say one-of-a-kind, I mean they made one. There is a single Bluey Xbox Series X and controller that looks like Bandit. I think it looks like Bandit.
It looks great. Yeah.
It does look great. And, you know, since the Bluey characters are kind of like rectangular to begin with, it's
it makes perfect sense.
It's hysterical to me.
Perfect sense.
I love Bluey. Bluey's a great show.
10 out of 10. Yeah, I feel like obviously my kids are a little too old for Bluey, but I don't think I would have hated Bluey had that been a thing that they were watching when they were children.
Oh, God, it's one of those things that I keep hoping my kids will go back to, and they do periodically, and then they fall out of it. Especially Ellie. God, she watches some trash TV on, like, Disney, like That Girl Lele, and I just want to die.
That Girl Lele, The Golden Bachelor, she's watching weird shit at her age.
Please get back to Bluey. Bluey's great. Yeah, that's the whole story. Nothing more to it. Just I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, no,
Go team.
That's awesome. That's great.
Let's see. I've got Push Square reporting that the Embracer Group has laid off 900 people. You know, the Embracer Group that's like, you know, makes a bajillion dollars and bought a whole bunch of stuff like Crystal Dynamics. And, they're, let's see, recording lots of profits. But they're also just slicing off jobs because that's a great way to save money. And I kind of hate it.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah. It's not a great story to report on, but every time it happens, I'm going to keep reporting on it because it's worth saying that stop. Just stop it.
Well, it further solidifies why consolidation is bad for the video game industry. Like,
yeah,
overall,
there's a lot of things bad for the video game industry.
Negative.
That's one of them. Yeah.
You know, like I don't know if this is on your docket because if it's in the script, I didn't look at it because I am unprofessional at best. But Microsoft has made overtures to wanting to purchase Sega.
Yes,
and Sega has said no thanks.
We're flattered, but no.
Yeah.
Then that makes me happy.
Which, yeah, no, me too. That's awesome because, like, I go off, Microsoft. Do what you're going to do. Make some awesome games. Make people happy. But also stop fucking buying shit. Stop.
Yeah, stop trying to own video games, which is what they're trying to do. Like, that they want to own everything, and then everything just funnels through them. And I hate that. I don't want that to be a thing. I want there to be separate entities that work independently to create interesting things, and especially the big names. I don't want to see Capcom or Konami or Sunsoft purchased by these other companies. Like, even the Digital Eclipse thing I think is neat because Atari's in kind of a different position. You know, Atari isn't a big player to begin with, so, and the way they're buying things is just like, yeah, you know what? You keep doing what you're doing, and we're just going to help you do what you're doing.
Right.
That's neat, but that's not Microsoft buying Activision. That's a very different kind of animal.
Goddamn. Yeah, it really is. And, like, I mean, I disagree on one point. I do want somebody to buy Konami. Just because I don't fucking trust Konami to do anything with their just ridiculously excellent catalog of IPs.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
we'll see
seem
where
to be
this
interested.
See what this Contra game has to offer. I feel like there might be some steps in the right direction, but all in all, yeah. See, but I don't want Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft to buy them. I want another third party.
Sega
I want something
to
else
buy them,
to buy Konami.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I would.
Like
even the
Konami
Nintendo
merger.
fanboy in me doesn't want to see Konami owned by Nintendo because Silent Hill's not a Nintendo thing. Silent Hill's a PlayStation thing.
No,
and that would feel weird anywhere else. I don't know.
I agree. It's bad. Oh fuck!
I don't want another. I don't. This is what I want
for the industry.
I don't want another company to buy Konami. I want them to get a new president like Wade Rosen. Like, Wade Rosen's the guy who took over Atari a couple of years back and decided we're going to do something good with this company. That's what needs to happen to Konami. I don't want them to be bought by another company. I want them to find new management. That's what I want.
Yeah, like when's the last new Castlevania game?
I think it was Lords of No, it was that Apple Apple Arcade one. That was a resurrected older one. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it seems wild that there has not been and no news, no rumors. The Netflix show has done incredibly well. It's extremely popular. All of those things. New game? Nah, fuck it. We're not interested.
They just don't have the talent.
It's just not a thing we're doing. Yeah,
I mean,
that's weird.
Look at that Contra game that they made. That Contra game was fucking terrible. Contra Rogue Core was awful. But now this new one, Operation Galuga, looks great because they farmed it out to Way Forward, and that's what they need. Right. And they need to find the right team to do Castlevania. If they're going to make a new Castlevania, I want Way Forward
to buy Konami. That's what I want.
With the Way Forward Silent Hill game.
Yeah. I'm down.
Don't get me wrong, I trust that company to the extreme.
I do too.
Yeah, that would be really something. Ah, goodness. Well, speaking of companies reorganizing and stuff, this one I thought was a very interesting story. This comes from Forbes. Zero Punctuation ends as The Escapist faces mass resignations after editor-in-chief firing. So, The Escapist has been home to Yahtzee's Zero Punctuation show for ages and ages. They've also been host to any number of other personalities and YouTube shows and stuff over the years, and they seem to have been getting more and more, or less and less likable over the years. And they recently went so far as
the shows themselves or the company.
The company, the site itself has just started to seem a bit scummy, and I can't really put that into words because I stopped following them because it didn't seem like something I wanted to follow,
be a part of.
So they fired their editor-in-chief, and then everyone else went with them. And Yahtzee and the former editor-in-chief have started up their a new thing called Second Wind. And while he doesn't have the rights to Zero Punctuation, they're going to be doing something probably similar to it on this Second Wind network that they're starting.
Okay.
So basically, if I'm getting the facts of this right, after Nick Calandra was the editor-in-chief, and he said on Twitter, "I was let go for not achieving goals that were never properly set out for us and lack of understanding of our audience and the team that built that audience. I've watched many colleagues let go for the same reasons, and today was my day." After he was fired, Escapist staff members, contributors, and producers all took to Twitter to announce that they were also leaving the site, with many of them indicating that they would be working on some new project Calandra directly. Basically, they were trying to do the whole infinite gains thing, how the video game industry loves infinite profits and infinite year-over-year profits, which is ridiculous and impossible. And the talent all said, "You know what? We're not doing this anymore." And everybody just walked out. Yeah, I think that's very good for them and very good for us. I don't know what's going to happen to The Escapist, and honestly, I don't give a shit.
I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of it.
It's a website. Jim Sterling was on there for a little while. Zero Punctuation is a very funny show. I still watch that from time to time. I've watched it for years.
And I always find that weird too. Of like there's so much. There's just so much, and people are making money off of shit. Like, I am directly involved in this. We do a show every week that, like, I should know what that. I have literally never heard of that. I understood all of the words that you said, but I don't know what any of them meant in context. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a thing that's ever crossed my purview, right? Which is, I think, kind of interesting, somewhat frightening, based on how much algorithms control our lives and whatever. If I've just never interacted with the thing that's going to get me over to that space of the internet. That's just kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be interested to see where this story goes. But I like.
And now I don't have to.
I like the idea that it reminds me of like companies like Machinima that just kept buying a bunch of YouTube shows and then they just tanked and went under and all those shows went away because they owned all of them and they're not going to give them the rights back, so fuck y'all.
No. Do not sell your rights to anybody. Unionized.
Geekade does not own any of this shit. That was something that I was very adamant about in when people were writing for us and anybody who makes podcasts for us, like back in the old days, Apathetic Enthusiasm was a part of our site, and they went off and did their own thing, and it made me sad to see them go, but like we didn't own that shit just because we published it. That's theirs. They made it. We were just happy to be a part of it. And that's the way we have always handled this shit. And when that stuff...
And that's honestly the way we have the Stone Age Gamer shit. Like, when Ryan is eventually sick of my bullshit for calling him on the carpet for the terrible person that he actually is. Look, one of us will speak truth to power, Chris. I know he signs your paycheck, but he doesn't to me. He's a bad man. But, like, if something were to happen and we decided, like, fuck this and fuck you, we take all almost 500 episodes with us. There was never a, like, these are yours now.
No. Not that you know of.
That's the way it should. No. Wait, was there? Fuck. Was that part of your agreement? I mean, fuck, if it's getting you paid, I'm fine with it, but, just, let me know. That's fine. We'll start a new podcast.
Well, yeah, I mean, we would take our episodes with us, but we probably wouldn't be the Stone Age Gamer podcast if we weren't tied to Stone Age Gamer anymore. That was kind of our. That was kind of our thing. We accidentally stole their name.
Ryan will be. Fuck him. It's fine. We'll be the Digital Age Gamer.
There you go.
It's fine.
Well, I guess the only other news worth talking about is the Game of the Year Awards. The Game of the Year Awards nominees have been announced. There were many different categories. The big Game of the Year one. Sorry, not the Game Awards, not the Game of the Year Awards.
Right.
The Game with Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards. The big ones.
The Jeff Keighley vehicle.
Yes. The big ones are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom.
Shocking. A shocking list. Didn't see any of those coming.
I'm a little surprised.
That's great.
I'm a little surprised to see Mario Wonder there, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm a little shocked by that.
It's the big Nintendo game. Well, one of the big... It's a flagship Nintendo.
It is, but like, typically speaking, that would be relegated to Best Family Game, and Starfield would have been there. I'm shocked Starfield isn't there. I know Starfield has had some problems, but...
I was going to say, I feel like Starfield is not making the impact that people... I just... For
but
the places
since when
that
has that affected
frequent,
the Game Awards?
That's
since
fair.
When has that had any fucking weight on Jeff Keighley's awards?
I've seen nothing about it.
I see people defending it a lot, and when this was announced, there was a whole big nasty outcry of the Starfield fans, the Bethesda fans, saying that they were robbed and Starfield should be in the Game of the Year choices. I was a little sad to not see Sea of Stars in there, but I guess that's...
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm not that surprised.
Maybe those Bethesda fans should tune into the Stone Age Gamer podcast for the only award show that matters, honestly, Chris, the Golden Caveman Awards. Mm-hmm. Maybe Starfield will get the nod. I mean, it's not gonna.
Maybe it'll get a nod. It's
not. It's not gonna. Spoilers. But maybe. Could.
Hold out hope. It's possible.
But maybe. So you say there's a chance, right? Like, it's a very Invader Zim moment. But they're tall? But they're stupid. Wait, but they're tall? Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, I don't hate Jeff Keighley even a little bit. I think he is kind of a tool. But
nothing
do
Jeff
think
Keighley.
I do think he is trying to legitimize gaming more than it already is, and I respect that.
I think he wants us to think that that's what he's trying to do. But if that were the case, then he would put something on. He would probably put some effort into the actual awards, because that's not what happens at the show. The awards is like, we gave out 6 awards off screen on our YouTube channel. Here's the best award for Games for Impact. Now here's 30 minutes of trailers and some musical guests.
Yeah.
That's what the Game Awards is. It's a commercial vehicle. The actual game awards themselves are such a minuscule part of the Game Awards, which is why it's hard to take them seriously, especially when you look at the things that get nominated and the things that don't. You say, you didn't put a whole lot of thought into this.
You just took the best-selling games and
you looked at what was popular and stuffed them into categories. And then you've got things like, what was it? Somebody did a report on this, and I can't remember what it was. One of the Indie Game of the Year award nominees is Dave the Diver, which was made by apparently a rather large team working for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. That's not an indie game.
Yeah.
I get it, it's a pixel art game. That doesn't mean it's an indie game.
No,
an indie game is something that is made by an independent studio without a big publisher backing it up. Sea of Stars is an indie game. At
least it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I believe Cocoon was an indie game. Dave the Diver is wonderful, but just because it's a pixel art game, that doesn't mean it's an indie game. And I was trying to look at some of the other categories that were just what the hell? No, that wasn't it. Best fighting game. That's just kind of funny. I don't know. Let's see. Best score in music. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, and Tears of the Kingdom. And this is how I know that this category was not taken seriously at the fuck all. Because I love Tears of the Kingdom, but there is no world where that is even in competition for the best soundtrack or score of the year. There isn't even all that much real music in that game. There's a lot of ambient sound, and there's some good music in there. There's some mediocre music in there. But yeah, it was a very popular game. But if you stack to any person who has never heard either one of them before, put Tears of the Kingdom soundtrack against Sea of Stars soundtrack. There is so much more going on in Sea of Stars. Octopath Traveler 2. The fact that this is one of your... it's just clearly not a lot of thought went into it. And that is a shame. That's obnoxious to me. That's why I have such a hard time taking this seriously, because I don't think they take it seriously. I honestly goodness just think that it's a big popularity contest to get more game trailers out there. And I just don't care for that. If you're going to do this, do it. Yeah,
that's fair. That is fair.
God knows they have the ability to do it. They could be.
Sure.
They could absolutely be putting this out there and making this into something bigger. Was Lies of P an RPG?
It's a Soulsborne. It has RPG elements.
I thought that was strange. When I saw that listed as one of the nominees for Best RPG, I was like, I clearly have no idea what this game is. Clearly, I am really nowhere near what this game actually is.
No, you are not. That's okay.
Best family game. Sonic Superstars? That's a family game? It's just an action game.
Right.
Best Pikmin 4? Best family game? Is there?
I suppose that kind of works.
Kinda. It's not really very multiplayer focused, unless your family is just 2 people. Like,
well, how dare you question other people's families, sir?
I'm just saying. I feel like there's a lot of better family games than Pikmin 4 this year. And Pikmin 4, I'm sure, is wonderful. But, yeah, I don't know. I look through these categories, and it hurts my brain.
Yeah.
Cameron Monaghan is nominated for
it,
Jedi Survivor. So there you go.
I think part of it is the difficulty in, if you were to do it like the Oscars, right? Where you have all these people there and whatever. Trying to get all of these people from all over the world. Like, the Oscars work because it's just a bunch of Hollywood fuckfaces. Like, they just show up in Hollywood. They're like, I was here already. You know, for the most part. Like, I was down the street, and I figured I'd pop in. But, like, with video games, it's just so... everybody's just all over the map.
And that's fine. You know, if you can make it, you can make it. Otherwise, just have people zoom in. We're in the digital age.
Yeah.
They don't have to actually physically be there to accept the award. People
That's
accept
fair.
awards remotely. That's totally fine. Just make the awards the focus and do the due diligence and not just do it based on what you think is the most popular. And don't spend the entire show just doing world premiere trailers over and over again. Like, if you're going to do the Game Awards, do the Game Awards. You want us to take this seriously? Then take it seriously yourself and don't just make it, well, what can we do to sell the most advertising space for it? Like, I just don't like it. But that's all the time we have for week old news.
I take it back. Fuck Jeff Keighley.
Right in the ass. That's week old news, everybody. There was an Indie World showcase. Blade Chimera looks neat, and Braid's coming to Switch, even though for some reason they said it wasn't. That was really weird. That was a weird week where they were like, yeah, you know what's weird? They just announced this Braid 20th anniversary thing, and for some reason, when they talked about it like a year ago, they said it was coming to Switch, and now the Switch is nowhere near any of it. Did the Switch version get canceled? Why would they cancel the Switch version? Oh, it's in the Indie Direct. Why the fuck wasn't it just announced with all the rest of the games 40 days ago? What is wrong with you? Anyway, that's week-old news. And with that, we are going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we are going to tackle the 10, 20, 30, 40, where we talk about games that came out in decades past that are super cool, and some of them even have something to do with Chuck Norris. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. Hi everyone, Chris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home. because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Okay, we are back and better than ever. We are ready to discuss the 10, 20, 30, 40. If you are new to the show, the 10, 20, 30, 40 is where Dan and I talk about notable game releases from this month, 10, 20, 30, and 40 years ago. So we're talking about November 2013 first. That's the 10. What came out in the great year, the year of our Lord, November 2013. We're going to start the various platforms that we will be covering for 2013. We've got a lot of active platforms in 2013. We got PS3, the launch of the PS4, the Xbox 360, the launch of the Xbox One, the Wii U, the Wii, the DS, the 3DS, PSP, Vita, and Ouya. That's a lot of platforms active at the same time, which is kind of bananas.
That's quite a bit.
Quite a bit. Let's see. PlayStation 3, still kicking, even though the PS4 came out this very month. Had COD Ghosts, the game about dead fish. I'm just kidding. It's called
Clearly.
Ghosts. Yeah, I know. The Lords of Shadow collection. We were just talking about Castlevania. That's pretty neat. That's all for this page. What else we got here in November? Oninchanbara Z, Assassin's Creed, something or other. Really? Injustice? Oh, the Injustice Ultimate Edition. That's what that is. That's not what I was after. Can I make this not these little bubbles so I can read all the... there's got to be a way to change the way this looks. No, there isn't. I can't just make them full titles. You know what? Whatever. Heck off, Metacritic. Beyond Two Souls, Need for Speed Rivals. Ooh, Farming Simulator came out.
Oh, that's pretty big.
What's this? Final Fantasy 13, the Lightning Ultimate Box. It's a heck of a choice of a name there. There was an Adventure Time game, a Worms game.
They've been all over the place with their naming for a while now, and it's just absurd. It's absurd.
There's a lot of collections going on this month. There's obviously Call of Duty Ghosts, but you can't really expect them to have gone all out on their PS3 when they were launching the PS4. So... I mean, I'm seeing an Arkham collection, Borderlands 2 collection. I'm not seeing anything of any real importance going on here. So, PS3, not a great month. But what about the PS4 launch? What did the PS4 launch with? We've got Just Dance 2014, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Battlefield 4, Madden 25, and on November 12th. Let's see, Warframe, Zombie Driver HD, Resogun, Super Motherload, The Playroom, Lego Marvel Superheroes, the PlayStation 4 itself, thanks for clearing that up, Sound Shapes, Angry Birds Star Wars, Trine 2, Flower, Blacklight Retribution, Need for Speed Rivals, Contrast, Knack. Boy, people love to pretend they love that game.
Yeah, that was like the big thing, and it's not great.
Yeah, I'm at a point where I can't tell if people genuinely love that game or if it's all irony. I think it's all irony.
I think it's all irony.
It's got a pretty mediocre score. Killzone, Shadowfall, which I don't even remember existing. Call of Duty Ghosts. Skylanders was still kicking. I didn't know Skylanders was still around on PS4. Good for you.
Yeah.
DC Universe Online. And then like a few days later, NBA Live 14.
Not a good launch lineup.
No.
Resogun was really cool, but that was digital only, I believe.
Yeah, that's not a system seller.
House Marquee.
Yeah.
The ones who made Returnal, which is a dope ass game. And then Flower is cool, but
Flower's
that's
neat.
Not a system seller. Warframe is a cool free to play shooter, but that was also downloadable. Like, it's not a great launch lineup, honestly.
No, it's really not. Boo to that.
Not a big fan.
Boo, I say, to PlayStation 4. Boo. You can do better than that. Let's see how the Xbox 360 did. So, we've also got the launch of the Xbox One this month. So, over on the Xbox 360, we're looking at, let's see, Learn Math and Science, Ultimate Drunken Warrior, Blood Knights, Produce Wars, Chainsaw the Zombies. You're looking good, Expo. Zumba Fitness World. Vacation Vexation, Ben 10 Omniverse 2. Oh boy, just knocking it out of the park here, Xbox One. Call of Duty Ghosts, the same Lords of Shadow
Collection. I'm kind of intrigued by a game called Chainsaw the Zombies, though.
Yeah, it looks terrible. I wonder what you're doing. Art. Yeah, I think it's a golf simulator.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Arcania: The Complete Tale. I've never heard of this. The Assassin's Creed Heritage Collection, something called Final Exam, the Injustice Pack. Like, we're really looking at a very similar month to the PlayStation 3, except with a lot more shovelware, it seems.
Yeah.
I'm looking here. Young Justice Legacy, Need for Speed Rivals, Zumba Kids. Sign me up.
Oh. Sign the kids up.
That's true. The Walking Dead, the Telltale series, Game of the Year edition. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything of consequence here. State of Decay. I seem to remember people caring about State of Decay. State of Decay Breakdown. It was an arcade game.
State of Decay was a pretty big... I don't know that it was a pretty big thing. I do remember at the time I was listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast quite a bit, and they really fucking love that game. Like, one of the dudes on that show really loves State of Decay. But that was like every fucking game was a zombie game.
Yeah, we were at the height of Walking Dead popularity here.
Oh god, it was so irritating.
So yeah, that was
that's not good.
For the
Need
old
for Speed
360.
Rivals is probably the best out of any system so far.
Yeah. Well, let's see how the old Xbox One
as far as the
launched.
most fun game, you know.
The Xbox One is here to show the PlayStation 4 what's what. It's
the
here.
Bone.
Yeah, the X-Bone is here with Fighter Within. Just Dance 2014. Skylanders swap something or other.
Oof.
Sports games on top of sports games. We got NBA 2K14. We got NBA Live 14. FIFA 14. Madden 14. Zumba Fitness World. Hits keep on coming. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Call of Duty Ghosts. Need for Speed Rivals. Same as it ever was. Now we're past the launch. Towards the end of November, you've got Killer Instinct. The arcade game.
Yeah.
Not the new Killer Instinct.
Remake.
The original arcade game. Angry Birds Star Wars.
Which has not aged all that well, in my opinion.
No, it's neat. It is neat. I do find the original game pretty fun, but I have learned that
it's very clunky.
It is a bit clunky until it's just really just all about exchanging combos back and forth. It was a really cool first game in the series, and I think that newer one, minus the character designs that I didn't care about, I think is actually a pretty solid game, because I've started watching some high level players on that one. It's like, oh, there's some really cool stuff going on here. This is a neat game. The Xbox One did have a couple of interesting, I'm not saying good, but it has a couple of interesting first exclusives. At Dead Rising 3, it had Rise, Son of Rome, which is sitting comfortably at a 60 Metascore. We had Power Star Golf, Zoo Tycoon. What else we got here? We're still in November. Yeah, we're still in November. We're still in November with. Actually, no, we're not. We're done. That was it. No, that's all December stuff.
It's not a wonder that you really fell off of mainstream modern gaming around this time.
Yeah, they were just not coughing up stuff.
There's just nothing there.
No. I will say, given just the launches, I'm not saying overall system, just the launches, I definitely give the nod to Xbox for at least having the nerve to release Dead Rising
Something
3 and
different.
Rise Son of Rome.
Yeah.
Just something to differentiate. Oh, no, that new Killer Instinct was in November. That was, I scrolled right past that. Killer Instinct was in November 2013, November 22nd.
Oh, all right.
And that was pretty cool, too. How did I miss this? This page refreshed in a weird way. There was also Forza Motorsport 5.
Yeah. That is
Forza
a much
5,
better launch lineup.
Killer Instinct, Rise, Dead Rising 3, and then this Fighter Within game. 23 Metascore. I don't remember anything about this game other than I heard it was just dreadful. I don't even remember what it was about. Good times. Not a spectacular launch, but that's actually not terrible.
But better than the PS4.
Yeah, better than the PS4. Forza and Killer Instinct and Dead Rising 3 are all three solid games to launch your system with. So good job, Xbox. Now, what about the Wii U? What was Nintendo cooking up on the Wii U in November 2013?
To compete with the launch of the new systems.
This was not the launch of the Wii U.
As
Yeah,
it were.
competition. All right, so let's see. We had new Super Luigi U DLC come out. Wii Fit U.
That's not nothing.
That's not nothing.
Also not nothing.
Yeah. Wii Fit U, also not nothing. Didn't do what they wanted it to do overall, but, it was... I think Wii Fit U is great. I still use it to this day. It's a pretty good little yoga thing. It launched alongside Zumba Fitness World, Call of Duty Ghosts, Wii Sports Club, another one that was... Wii Sports Club is a freaking mystery, man. That game is insane.
Yeah.
The pricing structure, it's good. It's Wii Sports in HD, cleaned up and polished and obscenely priced. Like, no.
Yeah.
After Wii Sports Resort, like, going back to that one was like, what are you doing? This is so weird. Barbie Dreamhouse Party.
Big fan.
That game doesn't even have a Metascore. There's literally no Metascore for that.
I like to do a double feature of Mario Party and then Barbie Dreamhouse Party.
Living the dream right there.
Oh boy, am I ever.
Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Taiko no Jutsu, no, that was in Japan only. Ooh, Super Mario 3D World. That is an amazing game.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
So that's pretty much it. So you got your Mario DLC. You've got Mario 3D World, genuinely one of the best games on that platform. 3D World is an outstanding game. Wii Sports Club, which is good stuff, and Wii Fit U. Yeah, for Wii U months, that's pretty good. By Wii U
that's
standards,
pretty huge.
Yeah, that's pretty massive by Wii U standards.
I would argue that that's better than the launch lineup for either of the other two.
I agree. I agree. Again, not a high bar. Let's not oversell it. I love my Wii U, but let's not oversell it here. That's not bad. What about the old original Wii? What's the Wii cooking up? We got Ben 10 Omniverse 2. We got Zumba Fitness World. Let's Sing 2014. Barbie Dreamhouse Party. The Transformers Double Pack. Zumba Kids. And that's it.
Yuck.
Sometimes nothing is better than something.
Sometimes.
Oh boy, let's see what's in the handheld market now. What's the original DS still coughing up at this point? Probably nothing of value.
Right.
Moshi Monsters, Crazy Chicken Director's Cut, the Transformers Ultimate Autobots Edition, the Barbie Dreamhouse Party, Disney's Frozen Olaf's Quest, Fireman Sam, a Heathcliff DSiWare game? What? Heathcliff?
You know how much all the kids love
2013.
The kids fucking love Heathcliff 10 years ago. He was big business.
Heathcliff, no one should terrorize the neighbor. Fucking love that show, but what are you doing? 2013 DSiWare.
Yeah.
It's a spot the difference game too. Oh god.
Oh god. Wow. A licensed spot the difference game starring Heathcliff. Why don't I have this?
Yeah, what could be bad? Why don't we all have this? What about the 3DS? Because, the DS, we can't really expect much at the DS because the 3DS was on the market. And 3DS had Pac-Man, The Ghostly Adventures, a Power Rangers game, Ben 10 game, the Moshi Monsters, the Korg MO1D downloadable, basically synthesizer thing.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Bunch of shovelware, just shovelware. Oh God, there's a whole other page.
Shoveling it on in.
Shovelware, Lego Friends, Barbie Dreamhouse, Olaf, Senran Kagura Burst, Jet Rocket 2, Girls Fashion Shoot, Jewel Pet Cafe. Oh my God. I'm gonna keep going. There's a lot of November, but not a lot of words I feel like saying. Here we go. The Ace Attorney Dual Destinies Turnabout Reclaimed. That's pretty cool.
That's
that was
cool.
Downloadable only. Mario Party Island? Island Tour? I don't even remember that existing. Oh, shit. Link Between Worlds.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Best game of the month.
Space Harrier 3D. Ooh. Wow. This month got real good for 3DS real fast. A bunch of these awesome 3D Sega games, Super Hang-On, Space Harrier, those 3D Sega games are awesome. And then friggin' Link Between Worlds. And the Phoenix Wright game. Boom, there you go. Nintendo not doing bad this month. That's really good.
That Link Between World game, I know it's somewhat divisive in the fan base, right?
I think most people are on your page. It's divisive between you and me. I think most of the fan base really, really love that game. I loved it. I didn't love it as much as other people did, but it is pretty universally acclaimed. Link Between Worlds is phenomenal.
It's pretty great. It's pretty fucking great.
Space Harrier on 3DS is freaking awesome.
I don't know that I've ever played it. I might have.
It's Space Harrier in 3D, man. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good fucking time.
Yeah, it works really well. Well, that's good. All right, what about the PSP? What about the PSP we got?
As an aside, that just that reminded me of it. What's the fucking the game you talked about last week with the Queen soundtrack and it's not
Twister.
Space Harrier? Air Twister. So we had on the show, God, I don't even know how long ago it was. The gentleman Steve, who was drawing the Ninja Baseball Spirits comic book, fucking loves that game. All over his Twitter, you should play this game. Great soundtrack. Get this shit immediately.
Oh no. I love that fella,
I don't know if you want to.
I heartily disagree.
I don't know if you want to have him back on to go back. I kind of want it to happen because I'd like to hear the two of you go back and forth about this fucking game.
I'm not going to argue with him. I'm just going to say no. That's how I feel about the game. That's going to be my entire review. Here's the review, Lucas. Here's the review. No. Just no.
That's not a great review, Chris.
Yeah, but it's an effective one.
Yeah, no, I suppose that's fair.
It's the answer to every question you have about that game. What is it? No.
No.
Is it good?
I'm trying to go back. He's got a lot of very sexy cats for this new comic that he's got coming out called Ring Cats. They're wrestling felines. If you're into that sort of thing, you should definitely check it out.
While you're scrolling through sexy cats on Twitter,
do what you're doing.
The PSP had a fat lot of nothing. There's at least 9 games, and none of them are words I want to say. Himiwari no Kyukwa, Your Diary Plus, Kiyaki Yaku, and Haya. PSP had God Eater 2, and a bunch of incredibly Japanese games in November 2013, none of which have any metascores or any way for me to tell if they're good or not. So I'm just going to assume they're all fantastic. PlayStation.
Best games ever.
Let's see. The Vita. Oh my God, this cough. The Vita had. Where's the beginning of November? Here it is. some.
Okay, here I got it.
Schlock.
Sorry, just came to it. Sound on. Air Twister has the best game soundtrack of the year. Please play Air Twister. Air Twister's ready, so get your wings and guns.
It's there's lots of ducks. There's the space swans. Sorry, they're not ducks. They're swans, and they don't look weird. Don't look like fantastical in any way. They're just giant swans. They just bunch of giant goose. Now, if it honked like Untitled Goose Game, that'd be a different story. But it doesn't. It's just big old swans.
If it brought
I
you
don't
coffee
like it.
like Wawa.
I just don't like it.
Well, you and Steve, no longer best friends. Sorry.
No longer besties. I'm still buying the second issue of Ninja Baseball Spirits, though, because it's great.
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah.
The Vita had God Eater 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, Injustice, Flower. Yeah, it's fine. Tearaway.
Yeah, no,
Tearaway was neat, right?
Tearaway's really cool. Yeah, Tearaway used the Vita in really interesting ways. Tearaway feels very much like a Nintendo game, in that whenever Nintendo puts out a console that has some weird functionality, they are the only ones that do it. And you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Never mind. I thought it was fucking stupid, but it's actually kind of brilliant. All right, well done. Tearaway kind of had that same level of like, oh, okay, that's why there's all these like weird touch points and strange things on the Vita. Okay, picking up what you're putting down. Well done, Sony. Nobody cared. That was the problem.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but
I think the biggest problem with the Vita is that it's not very comfortable to hold. I found.
Yeah, it's a little too round.
It's a little too round, which is weird. You would think that would be better to like.
Yeah, but it needs something
into your hands, but
it needs something to grip onto, and it just doesn't have it.
It doesn't. It's not fun to hold for a while. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I just leave this with the Ouya. And according to Wikipedia, November 2013 saw 20.8% Donkey Me, Get on Top, Shadowrun Online, No, that's it.
It's weird. Those were the same things that Tiff said to me last night.
Killing Floor. Wait, never mind. All right. Well, there you go.
Get on Top, Killing Floor. Oh, wait, never mind. Like, I thought
surprising
was
to
the
me,
day.
This month, I would definitely say goes to Wii U and 3DS for the
I don't think it's
Mario
even a
and Zelda
question.
combo. Yeah,
that's gigantic.
It's a whole lot of months.
What a
right
shocker!
There. Yeah, didn't see that one coming. Well, let's see. Let's travel 20 years into the past, and the PlayStation 1 had no releases.
Good.
Big shocker. Let's see what's going on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2, let's see. We're at 2009. Let's go to page 5. Let's see what that does. 2009. Page 1? Where do we end up? Okay, yeah. So, PlayStation 2 had Pro Evolution Soccer 2014. And that was it.
It's a great game, but...
Yeah.
You know.
That doesn't seem right. Because I'm looking at 2013, not 2003. Ha! Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's not right at all. It's like we're
still a great game. I stand by what I said.
Wow, I guess I should have read that on the other one. Yeah, look at that. November 2013, Pro Evolution Soccer hit PlayStation 2.
Yeah. Never mind.
Good
Take
job,
it away
guys.
from the Wii U and the 3DS.
Yeah, the PS2 wins. Better than Mario and Zelda combined.
Flawless.
All right, let's see. How am I going to get to 2013? We got 189 pages. Let's go to page 100.
Yeah.
2004.
Split
okay,
it right down the middle.
We're getting close.
Right down the middle. Got 100.
Let's go to 125. Boom. Nailed it. 125 hit me on December 2003, and that'll be no problem to get to the beginning of November. So now we're into a territory where there aren't so many game platforms that it just makes you crazy. There are still a lot of game platforms, but not too many game platforms. So the PlayStation
and not
2,
so much shovelware.
Right, because digital marketplaces weren't really a thing yet. So the PS2, this is, PS2 obviously is the king of the hill of this entire generation. No questions asked.
Yeah.
PS2 has hit us with Fairly Odd Parents, Break Into Rules, True Crime, Streets of LA. People liked that game a lot.
Yep.
FIFA 2004, iToy Play, Dynasty Warriors 4, Extreme Legends, Barbie Horse Adventures. Hell yeah.
Ooh,
Gladiator, Sword of Vengeance, SOCOM 2, Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat.
Huge,
SOCOM
massive,
2.
stinky deal.
It's weird because SOCOM's just not around anymore. But SOCOM was almost what Call of Duty is now. Like SOCOM was just it was ubiquitous. It was everywhere. People played it online.
And Halo came out and they were like, fuck, I guess we can't now. Like it's so strange. I mean, that was 128 person battle.
That was
wild.
Huge back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Some nonsense. We got Lord of the Rings. Was it Return of the King adaptation? Those were okay.
Those games were really the EA ones.
Yeah,
those games were really good. Yeah, they were really good.
Blowout. I remember Blowout. Oh shit! This was Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. This was Beyond Good and Evil. Oh boy! Now we're getting to listen to this. Sands of Time, Beyond Good and Evil. Bloody Roar 4, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, Legacy of Kain Defiance. Holy cow. Just Medal of Honor, Rising Sun. I don't really care about that, but the Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, that was okay. NCAA Final Four, Crash Nitro Kart. But geez, those just the ones I mentioned on this page. Beyond Good and Evil, Prince of Persia, Ratchet and Clank, and Legacy of Kain Defiance. That is bananas. That is so much good content right there.
It is. It really is embarrassing how good the PlayStation 2 was.
Oh, damn. We are not done, sir, because we also got Need for Speed. We got Need for Speed Underground. We got a port of Space Channel 5. We got Final Fantasy X-2. The original Manhunt. Metal Arms Glitch in the System. Metal Arms has a big cult following. iNinja was okay. 13 was okay. Fugitive Hunter is fucking terrible, but hilariously so. Tokyo Extreme Racer 3.
That's good shit.
Boy.
I love those games.
And November, I'm still not out of November yet. What else? There's going to be more hits, I'm sure. Oh, this was Intellivision Lives. Oh, this was good. Aww. This was a genuinely good collection of preservation of Intellivision stuff. Outlaw Golf, barf. Spawn Armageddon, Spy Hunter 2. That was a thing. Nothing else of interest on this page.
What a fucking embarrassment of riches.
An embarrassment of riches is the way to sum up this month. That was only in Japan. And that's December. Okay, yes, that's it. Everything else was just kind of like here or there stuff, but holy shit, what a month. Wow, PlayStation 2.
God damn. I did, as much as it's problematic and all of those things, I thought that original Manhunt game was so fascinating that
everybody
happened.
did. That game sold really well. It was quite a thing.
Yeah. It's just weird that it happened. I can't imagine something like that happening today. I can't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It's fucking brutal. For anybody who does not know what we are talking about, watch some videos of the PlayStation 2 game Manhunt, and just textbook agog is what you will be.
Well, that's going to be hard to top. But let's see if anybody can even tie it.
I think
Let's see if anybody can even tie it. Original Xbox, we're looking at True Crime, also came out on Xbox. this was when Xbox finally got GTA 3 and Vice City. That was a very big deal that those games came to Xbox.
That's very big. Yeah.
Of course, we also got Drake of the 99 Dragons, often regarded as one of the worst games ever made. Lord of the Rings Return of the King was there too. Maximum Chase, Lynx 2004, Sphinx, Medal of Honor, Legacy Kane Defiance. I didn't see Prince of Persia yet. I know that hit Xbox. I can't remember if it was the same day or maybe it's just not on the same page. The adaptation of Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, the Crash Nitro Kart. Oh, Rainbow Six 3. That I remember being a very big deal. People loved that.
That's pretty big.
Got Need for Speed
as
Underground here as well.
Yeah.
Whiplash was another exclusive. I think, was that exclusive? I can't remember.
So.
Oh no! Project Gotham Racing 2!
Yeah, it was big.
Project Gotham was a big one. Metal Arms is here. There's Prince of Persia as well. There's 13. Oh shit, this was Jedi Knight, Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. Counter-Strike on Xbox. Oh,
yeah,
Counter-Strike being on home consoles. And a week or so before the other platforms. I saw this on December for PlayStation 2, but Max Payne 2 came to Xbox first. Midway Arcade Treasures.
I remember that.
Oh boy. That's a pretty solid month. I still think PlayStation 2 takes it overall, because Beyond Good and Evil 2 wasn't here, I don't think.
Beyond Good and Evil, fucking SOCOM, like that.
Oh, yeah, SOCOM was... Yeah, I mean, they had SOCOM, but the Counter-Strike was on Xbox. Like, this is almost a wash.
Yeah,
I mean...
It is.
I gotta say, I think ultimately this might be a tie, because almost all the other big stuff was also on Xbox.
Yeah, yeah. Really, just Beyond Good and Evil. That's
Beyond Good and Evil.
That's the one.
Yeah,
but that's for us. That wasn't for the mainstream.
True, but then but it's something else that was there the Xbox didn't have, and they didn't have an answer for it either that was exclusive to them that month. So Drake of the 99 Dragons.
Drake and the 99 Dragons.
Sign me the fuck up. Oh boy, but that was a really solid month for Xbox. That's nice to say. I feel like we haven't been able to say that a lot. So let's look up the GameCube. How is Nintendo doing this month?
Cube of Games.
The Cube of Games, the little purple box that
Fairly Odd Parents game was on there.
Oh yeah, 10 out of
Tiff
10.
Loved that game. No, she loves that game. It's actually, I think, like relatively well regarded.
Is it?
I think. Yeah, I think so.
Learn something new every day.
I don't know. I just say shit, Chris. I just say shit. Sometimes you challenge me on it. Sometimes you don't. It's fine.
Let's see. GameCube is already looking pretty okay. It's got True Crime. It's got Fairly Odd Parents. It's got Mario Party 5, which we don't care about, but was still a big deal. Also had The Return of the King, Sphinx, Medal of Honor, Crash Nitro Kart, Batman Rise of Sin Tzu. That one wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. Oh, shit. Yeah. Here we go. Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh, man.
The Zelda promotional disc that had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and stuff on it. Need for Speed Underground, Metal Arms, Go-Go Hyper Grind, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, Spawn Armageddon, Extreme G, Looney Tunes 13, Blowout, Disney's Hide and Sneak, and that was it. Not as good as the other ones, but a very solid month.
But Double Dash is so good.
Yeah, Double Dash is still one of my favorite Mario Karts. And you can't shake a stick at Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. That was great on every platform.
Yeah,
Metal Arms glitched in the system, is huge cult following. And it had a lot of the third-party stuff. It had your Lord of the Rings and True Crime and Need for Speed. That was a solid freaking month for GameCube.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
It's a month before Christmas.
Yeah, we're definitely in the time where that started really being a thing. That they would hit up the month before Christmas, nice and hard. So let's see. Now the only thing left we have is the only portable on the market at the time of any note, and that is the Game Boy Advance. So let's see. How do we get back to 2003 on Game Boy Advance? Was there Game Boy Advance 2 games in 2013? Because I'm seeing 2022 and 2015. No, I don't see anything in 2013.
I think that counts like the homebrew and shit, right? Because
aftermarket stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went straight from 2012 to 2015, so I'm going to say no. Let's try page 10. Where does that put us in 2006? There was no page 20. Interesting. So, oh no, there was definitely a page 20. What did I mess up? No results found. How am I screwing this up? How about it goes up to page 60, so 30? Okay, just page 20 didn't want to exist for some reason. But 30, we're not far enough back. Let's try 40. September 2003, we're getting close. All right. September, October. All right, so this page should be it. Let's see, what did the Game Boy Advance have for us in November? Can the Game Boy Advance bring it home? Solid month for all platforms. Let's see. And I'm going to say yes, because it had Fire Emblem. I'm not a huge Fire Emblem fan, but this was the first Fire Emblem that got localized for North America. And that is a gigantic, hairy deal.
Yeah, no, it is.
Lord of the Rings, another Yu-Gi-Oh game. SSX3 got ported to the Game Boy Advance. I don't know if that was any good. Crash Nitro Kart. Double Dragon Advance. That's huge. That game was amazing. Double Dragon Advance is so good. And it just got released on modern platforms, too. Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Yeah, we ate good this year. This was good stuff all around, except Flight of the Falcon. Star Wars Flight of the Falcon is fucking terrible, but it's hilarious. You got to see that game in action. It's just like, it hurts your eyes. Medal of Honor Infiltrator is an 80 Metascore. I remember this game. I remember hearing this was like surprisingly functional first-person shooter for Game Boy Advance. Dragon Ball Z Taiketsu is terrible. Still in November? No, we're all out of November. Yeah, Fire Emblem and what was it? Fire Emblem and what was it? A Double Dragon Advance and Mario and Luigi. Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Surprisingly good Medal of Honor. What a great month. Good. Yeah. Good, all around. Thumbs up. Good job, video games. In 20 years. Good 2003 stuff. November was a hell of a time. Time to travel back to the 30 years ago to November to 1993. November 1993, we are looking at, oh boy, the arcades saw the original Ridge Racer and Mortal Kombat 2.
Oof. God damn.
Yes, please. Sign me up for that. God, Mortal Kombat 2.
I love Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
That was just a life changer. That was unbelievably big. As much as I love Mortal Kombat 1, and I do, Mortal Kombat 2 was everything the first game was and more. So good.
It is that. Could we make the argument, and maybe this is a podcast for another podcast, or maybe we've done this already because we've done a lot of shows. Is that the best sequel?
Oh. Well, now that is a really good question.
Like in a vacuum, right?
No, Street Fighter 2.
You think? Well, man, I don't even count that though. I don't even think that's
Street Fighter 1's real.
I don't think that's fair.
That's just
Street
not
Fighter
fair,
1.
Though. Street Fighter 1 is a real game, and Street Fighter 2 was a sequel to it.
All right, so ignoring that, is it Mortal Kombat 2? I don't know. It's an interesting question.
That is an interesting question. I don't know.
You're right. It is for sure.
Oh, that's going to be if we got put that one in your pocket. We're going to do that show. That sounds like a good one. Let's check in with in 1993 in the home console market. The NES is still kicking in November 1993 with Cliffhanger, Jimmy Connor's Tennis, Ms. Pac-Man, Pro Sport Hockey, Ren and Stimpy Show Buckaroos, Wayne's World, WWF King of the Ring, and that is it.
I mean, I love the movie Cliffhanger.
The game's not so much.
Something.
I've never played the NES version. I cannot imagine it is worth my time. Boy, oh boy. Miss Pac-Man, that's a pretty solid conversion. This is the Namco release, so the game had already been out as a Tengen release.
Yeah.
No, this is Wayne's World's terrible. This is just a big fat bag of nope. Not a good showing, NES. But then again, the NES is very long in the tooth. Super Nintendo and Genesis are very much out at this point, so
yeah,
I'm not expecting great things.
The fact that
from
it's
the
getting
NES.
anything is pretty big.
Exactly.
Yeah. Especially something as big as Cliffhanger. I mean, Sly Stallone always brings it.
Let's see. The Super Nintendo of November 93. Lamborghini American Challenge. NHL Stanley Cup. That was pretty cool because that was a fully 3D game. Used like Mode 7 and stuff. That was a pretty wild game. It was pretty fun. I had fun with that one. Pink Goes Hollywood. It was a Pink Panther game, which was really out of touch in 1993. Ron Mahaff Hard Battle. RoboCop vs. Terminator, Steel Talon, Super Battleship, Super Putty, Tecmo Super Bowl, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Time Slip, Sidekick Soccer, Total Carnage, We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, Championship Pool, Lawnmower Man, ActRaiser 2, Madden 94,
Yes.
Aladdin. There you go. There's a good game. Best
how
of the best.
dare you? The Lawnmower Man was there.
The Lawnmower Man is
game.
fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible.
No. How fucking dare you?
The original Clay Fighter and Jurassic Park. You definitely had quantity going this month, Super Nintendo.
You did.
NHL Stanley Cup is good. I liked that Jurassic Park game a lot. Clay Fighter was quite the novelty, and Aladdin is quite solid. ActRaiser 2 was a huge disappointment. Bunch of movie tie-in games that were garbage.
I
Tecmo
fucking
Super
love
Bowl.
Clay Fighter. I love Clay Fighter. Clay Fighter. It also Clay Fighter has kind of a weird place in my life, because I got that game for Christmas that year, 93, from my dad. So that was, I spent Christmas at my dad's house that year. It was the first time that I had spent Christmas with my dad because my parents had gotten separated when I was like 3 years old or whatever, whatever. So I spent Christmas with my dad. I got that game and I just thought it was goofy. My dad thought it was super funny. Like he thought the Elvis reference was pretty funny. But he was, in his mid-40s at the time, and that reference was a joke for him. So that's fine. The reason that it holds like a special place for me, though, is because my dad then passed away 2 months later. And that was like the last game that my dad got for me. And like the whole time that like I was going up to spend time with my dad, I would always, like bring my Nintendo and show like, Dad, you got to come in here and fucking check out Choplifter or whatever the fuck it was, that I had. And he'd be like, oh yeah, that's fucking cool. So, but because of that, like Clay Fighter will always hold a very special place in my heart. I fucking love that game.
I genuinely like the original. I liked the original Clay Fighter too. I used to rent it a lot. I think the original Clay Fighter is a very clever novelty fighting game. It's not a good fighting game, but it's fun to play, and the novelty is great.
It is.
Except, Blue Suede Goo, which was just like, what are we doing in Elvis? But, like
I
you
would
said,
like to see somebody remake that and, like, do it for real.
That would be
like,
awesome.
I want Capcom to make their fucking version of Clay Fighter.
Excuse me. Those character designs were pretty wild. Like, some of them, like Helga was stupid, but like some of them were great. Like Blob, Taffy, Bad Mr. Frosty.
Taffy was my shit.
I liked Blob.
Taffy and Bad Mr. Frosty were my guys.
Good stuff. It was a fun game. All right, let's see what the competition was up to. That was Super Nintendo. It was an okay month. Not too much to write home about, but not bad. Over on the Genesis, in November of 1993, we had the Chaos Engine, We had Cliffhanger again, which I hate. Pink Goes Hollywood, RoboCop 3, the shitty Genesis port of the shitty Super Nintendo game Spider-Man and the X-Men and Arcade's Revenge.
What a bad fucking game.
Yeah, what a bad game. What a huge disappointment. Tecmo Super Bowl, Virtual Pinball, Wiz and Liz, Royal Rumble. Oh, Zombies Ate My Neighbors came to Genesis this month. That's pretty cool. Aladdin also came out on Genesis. Madden 94, Sonic Spinball. It's a great game. Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's Butt. Dr. Robotics Mode. Mean Bean Machine. Battletoads Double Dragon. Oh, wait, Battletoads Double Dragon was next month. I'm finishing off with Mean Bean Machine. Okay. Sonic Spinball and Mean Bean Machine are good stuff. Aladdin's, people like that game. I don't like the Genesis Aladdin. I just don't think it's fun. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a good game. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
I don't know that it's better than Super Nintendo, but it's certainly not worse. So, okay. Sega CD in November of 93. We had Dracula, more Cliffhanger. Fuck that game. Ground Zero Texas, Lethal Enforcers, The Secret of Monkey Island, Thunderhawk, WWF Rage in the Cage.
Rage in the Cage.
Sonic the Hedgehog CD. Well, Sonic CD was that was the game on Sega CD. That was a really popular one. Yeah. And there's a Sega first home console port of The Secret of Monkey Island. So, yeah. Cliffhanger sucks. Not too bad. Sega CD, good work. What are we looking at here? I think this is Game Boy. We've got, all right, November 93 for Game Boy. We're looking at Alien vs. Predator, The Last of His Clan, Batman the Animated Series, Championship Pool, DuckTales 2, Kirby's Pinball Land, NFL Quarterback Club, Panel Action Bingo, Tiny Toon Adventures 2, Montana's Movie Madness, and Wayne's World, Ninja Turtles 3, Radical Rescue. All right, Radical Rescue is great. Radical Rescue is like a Metroidvania kind of game. That's actually a really cool game. Kirby's Pinball Land is fucking phenomenal. The first level of Sonic Spinball is great. Everything past that is just okay, right? I love the first level. The Toxic Caves in Sonic Spinball is fucking great. Kirby's Pinball Land is great top to bottom. DuckTales 2 is a solid game. The the Game Boy port was fine. Not bad. Not great, not bad. Yeah. Game Gear had your favorite game, Echo the Dolphin, which is only improved by being on Game Gear. Last Action Hero,
being portable.
RoboCop 3, World Series Baseball, Cosmic Spacehead, Sonic Chaos. And that's it.
Cosmic Spacehead, best name.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this game. What is Cosmic Spacehead? It's from Codemasters.
Cosmic Spacehead.
Clearly, it was a great game because if it was from Codemasters, they only released winners. It looks stupid.
The best.
All right. 1993. 1993 was pretty okay. Solid month. Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcades is wonderful, and some really nice games on all the platforms. There was nothing for Turbo CD, nothing for TurboGrafx 16, nothing for Neo Geo, and nothing for 3DO this month. So all those platforms just completely boffed it in November. I don't know why. So that just leaves the old 40. What's going on in November of 1983? 40 years ago this month. We're looking at the Atari 2600, the Odyssey 2, Intellivision 5200, ColecoVision, Vectrex, and Game & Watch. I will say right now there were no Odyssey 2 or Game & Watch games, as far as I can tell, released in November 1983. So let's see what's cooking on the old Atari VCS. We're looking for 1983. There are 186 mentions of 1983. That doesn't help me at all. So, August, September, October, November 1983. We've got Alpha Beam with Ernie, Artillery Duel, Big Bird's Egg Catch, Buck Rogers, Bump and Jump, Chuck Norris Sidekick, Dual Kart with Artillery Duel, Krull, Pigs in Space, Quad Run, Smurfs Save the Day with Kidvid, Snoopy and the Red Baron, Space Shuttle, A Journey into Space, Survival Island, and Sword of Saros. So we got the
I'm going to need you to fill me in here.
I don't have a lot of contact with most of these, to be perfectly honest. I like Bump and Jump as a concept. I don't think I've ever played the 2600 version. I never understood Krull. I tried Quadron a little bit. That game never clicked with me. The interesting thing was these the educational games that they hit the Sesame Street license with the Ernie, Big Bird, Snoopy and the Red Baron. That's not Pigs in Space. These were all like kids games that it was like a new initiative around this time. I think this was the first months we started seeing those, and that's kind of cool. But yeah, I got nothing else.
I do Chuck love Norris Pigs in Space.
Game. Yeah, I like the concept of Pigs in Space. I don't know that I like that game, but
it's weird that Chuck Norris is in that one.
Yeah,
it's very strange. Like, it's very weird.
Well, Muppet Show always had guests, so. Anyways, skipping over Odyssey 2 because it had nothing this month. Let's see what was cooking on the Intellivision. The Mattel Intellivision in 1983 had November 1983 Bump and Jump, Kool-Aid Man, and Masters of the Universe: The Power of He-Man. I seem to remember people liking that Masters of the Universe Intellivision game. Kool-Aid Man's a weird ass game.
It is one of the best Masters of the Universe games that has ever been made because there's been like 4. So it's definitely one of the best.
It is definitely one of the Masters of the Universe games ever made.
Yeah.
Okay. I imagine Bump and Jump would work okay on a television, and Kool-Aid Man is a weird-ass game. I played that on 2600. Never played the Intellivision version.
Also, who doesn't fucking love the Kool-Aid Man?
Oh,
that guy's great.
There's no regard for walls. How about the Atari 5200? The Atari 5200 saw Buck Rogers, Kaboom, Popeye, and River Raid. Was there paddles for the 5200, or did you play it with a trackball controller? How did you play Kaboom on 5200? I didn't even know that was ported to 5200. Let's see what the internet has to say.
Is it talking about while you're looking that up, the Popeye arcade game? Because that game fucking rules.
Yeah, I don't know how. Let's see. Kaboom. How did you play this on 5200? I don't remember. I mean, or did the 5200 have... that didn't have rotary built into the joysticks, did it? It looks like it did. Whoever's playing this looks like they're using a paddle, so that's fine.
Okay.
Honestly, it doesn't look much different from the 2600 version, which is, what are you doing?
Upsetting.
What was Popeye on 5200? How did that game come out? I like the arcade Popeye.
I love that game. I really do. It's really solid.
Well, it's better than the 2600 version, but it's not the NES version. Yeah, okay. That's a thing. And River Raid's great. So yeah, that's nice. By Atari 5200 standards. By 5200 standards, that's not terrible. All right, Dan's favorite, ColecoVision. November and ColecoVision had BC Quest for Tires, Frantic Freddy,
game's fucking awesome.
Pit Stop, Spectron, Super Cross Force, and Wing War. I don't know any of those games.
BC Quest for Tires, I would imagine you've played at some point.
I have not.
It was the weird old cavemen cartoon thing that they had. I'm sure
I remember it existing, but I recognize it, but I've never played it.
Okay. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's a silly little arcade game with, fucking
it looks,
the BC Tires.
It looks very Moon Patrol, which is weird.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
Last but not least, we have Vectrex. Were there any games released in November 1983 for Vectrex? Yes. Polar Rescue, and Pole Position. Pole Position on Vectrex is so cool.
Pole Position is an excellent game.
Yeah, Pole Position.
And there's really no bad versions of it. Yeah,
Pole Position's it's even solid on the 2600. But this Vectrex Pole Position is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Because it's a vector graphics racing game. It's so neat.
Yeah.
I love this one. I have it on my multi-card on my Vectrex, and this is one of the games I always go back to on that system. It's so neat. All right. Hey, this was a pretty good 10, 20, 30, 40. This really was solid.
Solid.
Couple of
solid as a rock.
Snoozers. The 10 was pretty weak all around, but we were pretty solid past that.
Yeah, it's really strange how the previous console generation really just sold itself on the fact that it was a new console. Yeah. Like, that was the important part. Not necessarily that there were some killer games that you needed for it. Just the new console's coming, you better get it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah, like that was the marketing push.
Yep.
You fucking want it. I know you do. Yeah. Oh, weird.
Oh, man.
It's all right. I apologize. I fell asleep like 20 minutes ago. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I don't feel like I've been very good this week.
You contributed. Apologize. You were wonderful, Dan. You were always wonderful.
Okay. That's good.
Even in your sleep, you're a great
need the
co-host.
fluffing. Thank you.
Yes. No problem. That's what I'm here for. But with that, we're going to call it a night. That is our show. Join us next week when we're going to be doing the final Stone Age starter kit. That's it. The Xbox One is the last one, and then it's over. We're done. No more. We're going to move on to something else. No more starter kits.
That's right.
We did it.
Even if you asked nicely.
Yeah. We're all out.
Oh, my God. It's nice that it ends in December, though. Like, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So that we can start some new shit in January.
Start
that
fresh.
We'll figure out.
Yeah. Good times. Well, there you have it, folks. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes. You'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, I'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making this show listenable for all you folks. I'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it, everybody. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.